Welcome to the complete story for Forever Evil. So this is it, the conclusion to the first big event here in the New 52. Everything from Flashpoint up until now has led up to this. Flashpoint made the new universe, the Justice League fighting Darkseid brought the first Earth 3 people to us, Trinity War divided and destroyed most of the Justice Leagues, and now the Crime Syndicate is here to rule our planet. Was it everything you had hoped for? Let me know in the comments down below.
So far it's been great.
And if you learned something new or just enjoyed this story, leave us a like because we really appreciate it and want to thank you for it. Now take note, this is the core plotline, and we'll touch on what happened in the spin-offs and more stories if you guys really want to hear about what happened.
Thank you very much, sir. I look forward to that.
When we last left off, the Crime Syndicate, which consists of Ultraman, Superwoman, Owlman, Johnny Quick, Power Ring, and Deathstorm, came through their gateway into our world, and they were dragging behind them a mystery prisoner.
Oh, yeah,
As they landed, they decimated the Justice League, and that's the last anyone's seen of them. Lex Luthor gets released from prison, prepping to go back to his usual Lex Luthor things, when he notices things are a bit odd. Superman hasn't been seen in the last 24 hours, and things seem a bit off. He plans to go and meet with Thomas.
If Lex Luthor thinks the Justice League are trying to deal with, imagine an evil Justice League where they want to rule on their own. So that means Lex Luthor is going to have to help Superman. Oh, the irony is sweet.
Cord about purchasing Cord Industries, but the helicopter he's on explodes in midair and crash lands on the rooftop. Lex Luthor then crawls out of the wreckage just in time to see what appears to be Superman flying into LexCorp. As he goes inside to see what's going on, he realizes this isn't Superman, this is somebody else. And he then witnesses Ultraman crushing kryptonite and inhaling it. Ultraman then calls on Grid, which is the remains of Cyborg's robotic body, to locate some more kryptonite.
Wait, what?
Meanwhile, the rest of the...
Wait, what? Evil Superman eats kryptonite? I mean, he's the reverse incarnation, the reverse specimen of Superman. So it makes sense. Kryptonite weakens Superman. So Earth's 3 Ultraman makes him stronger. That makes sense.
Crime Syndicate is preparing to rule the planet. They kidnap Nightwing, free all the inmates at Iron Heights, and they free the prisoners at Belle Reve. They then spread the word. Come to Justice League's Watchtower. There they show proof for defeating the Justice League. They hold Aquaman's trident, Wonder Woman's lasso, and Superman's cape as proof. They then hold a bloodied Nightwing in front of every supervillain and unmask him, revealing his identity to everyone in the world. The Crime Syndicate has succeeded where this dimension's villains have failed. Now join the Crime Syndicate. Once everyone leaves, Ultraman flies up to block the sun with a permanent eclipse as the sun's rays actually hurt him. And Lex Luthor sees this and realizes this is a job for Superman. So where is he?
Wait, but if he permanently blocks the sun with what I don't know, that's going to destroy the Earth. So you won't have an Earth to rule if you destroy the sun. Logic is not blah blah blah.
There is no Justice League. There is no Superman. So what is Lex gonna do? Why, he'll make his own super team. He goes deep below LexCorp to a secret lab where he's been keeping the latest of his experiments, and he sets it free.
What the?
He then climbs into the power suit armor and throws a Superman suit to the monster, who puts it inside out, reversing the shield. Meet New 52 Bizarro. Meanwhile, the Crime Syndicate is standing up in the Watchtower deciding their next move. Owlman requests that Dick Grayson be kept alive as his, and Ultraman is called away to a situation in Kahndaq. Just as Owlman is leaving, Superwoman informs him that she is pregnant, and the child is his.
Oh my god, so the Earth 3's Batman and Wonder Woman are together, and Wonder Woman is pregnant with freaking Alfred! Oh, that's wild. Oh, I love this. And this picture is so hard.
We then see Batman and Catwoman bringing the remains of Victor Stone to Star Labs, and when asked what happened to everyone else, Batman tells Dr. Stone they didn't make it. Cutting back to Kahndaq, we see that the revolutionaries of the nation are using an ancient scroll to revive Black Adam. They need their champion back, and they do manage to successfully revive Black Adam, and he begins rampaging on the military forces there in the name of the revolutionaries. During this, Ultraman decides to swing by the Daily Planet, which only ends up with him terrifying Jimmy Olsen and Lois Lane. Jimmy Olsen then hits the distress signal on his watch, which would normally call Superman. But Superman isn't coming. You know who does hear the signal though? Black Adam. Black Adam and Ultraman start slugging it out, and Ultraman defeats him and breaks his jaw.
Ultraman defeats
Over at Star Labs, Victor Stone's father frantically tries to put his son back together while Batman explains what exactly happened after the Crime Syndicate arrived in this world. Deathstorm attacked Firestorm, exposing the matrix that binds Firestorm together. This sucked everybody inside and trapped them inside of the matrix, except for Batman and Catwoman. Batman and Catwoman head off to solve this problem while Dr. Stone finishes repairing his son, and we get Cyborg 2.0, who isn't connected to the information grid in any way. And Cyborg sets off to find a way to stop the crime syndicate. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor rounds up whatever supervillains he can get together for a new team, and he puts himself in charge of it.
So we lost all of the Justice League and Justice League spin-offs, and we get freaking Lex Luthor's beat-back superhero group with Black Manta, Bizarro, him in his super armor, and the dude with the blue stuff. I have no idea who you are, I'm sorry, my friend. But you rebuild the whole universe, New 52, and the first major storyline is we lost the entire Justice League. And it's wild.
Team is Bizarro, Black Adam, Black Manta, and Captain Cold. Meanwhile, Superwoman goes to Ultraman and tells him that she is pregnant and the child is actually his, and that Owlman is planning against them. Boy, she just really doesn't know who the dad is, does she? Meanwhile, Batman and Catwoman go to the
The whole point is, why is she trying to turn her own team against each other? Why is she turning Ultraman against their Batman? That makes no sense. Could she be a good person?
Batcave, where Batman shows her his Justice League contingency plans and hopes they will work on the crime syndicate. Just as they're going through Wayne Enterprises to gather up whatever they can for the fight, Luthor and his new team breaks in. With everyone there, Power Ring then traces Captain Cold back to this facility. And Power Ring, with the help of Deathstroke and other random villains, begins an assault on everybody. Batman quickly grabs the yellow ring and becomes Yellow Lantern Batman. Boy, I totally think that this was just kind of like a fan moment. And then just as quickly as he does that, Power Ring pulls the ring off of him. But don't worry, faithful listeners, using the yellow ring summoned somebody else. The leader of the Yellow Corps, Sinestro. Sinestro and Power Ring go at it while Luthor and Batman work together to stop Deathstroke and the rest of the villains. Ultimately, Power Ring cannot stand up against Sinestro, as Sinestro severs his arm, separating the Power Ring from his body, which isn't always a good thing with ring bearers, as the ring takes off searching for a new host. Luthor and Batman appear to be losing until Luthor reasons with Deathstroke. Hey,
what the fuck is wrong with these villains siding with the other psychos and not with freaking Lex? And Bats. I mean, I understand not siding with Bats, but why side with the crazies? You're nothing but pawns to them, you idiots. And Sinestro coming to save the day, that's wild. Why couldn't Batman hold the Power Ring for a while?
Deathstroke, it's bad for business if the Syndicate win. My business and yours. And Deathstroke turns on his allies and helps Luthor and Batman win. Luthor and Batman and their allies all assault the fallen Watchtower looking for Nightwing and the Crime Syndicate, but things aren't going so great for Nightwing. The Outsider, aka Alfred Pennyworth from Earth 3, calls Owlman to inform him that Grid has placed Nightwing into the Murder Machine, a device intended to hold back Doomsday. Right as we're learning this, Batman, Lex, Catwoman, and Bizarro walk into the room to see Nightwing in this situation. And what's even worse, there's a bomb attached to the Murder Machine, and the only way to stop the bomb is to kill Nightwing. Meanwhile, Johnny Quick and Atomica return to the Watchtower and run into Sinestro, Deathstroke, and Black Adam. And while all of this is going on, Black Manta and Captain Cold unmask the prisoner that the Crime Syndicate took with them. And it turns out to be Alexander Luthor. Who's he? Well, that's the Lex Luthor from Earth 3. Why is he scary? Well, we're about to find out. Johnny Quick gets by the others and goes for Captain Cold and Black Manta, but Captain Cold uses his new cold gun to freeze Johnny's leg, breaking it off. Back down below, Lex Luthor sees the situation and realizes what needs to be done, and he flatlines, killing Nightwing. No! Batman grows enraged and begins to beat on Luthor, shouting, "You killed Nightwing!" Back up top, Alexander Luthor walks over to Johnny Quick and yells, "Mazash!"
What?
Oh yeah, by the way, Alexander Luthor is bad, and he's the Earth 3 Shazam. He then grabs Johnny Quick by the head and absorbs his power into himself, declaring that he will be Prime Earth's most powerful hero. Ultraman looks in horror from a distance as he realizes they woke up Alexander Luthor. Alexander then walks over to everyone looking for heroes and sees both Captain Cold and Black Manta, but he lets them go as they don't have powers, and he needs to absorb metahuman powers. Back down below, Lex shocks Batman off of him with a lightning blast and informs Batman that he can bring back Nightwing. He only flatlined Nightwing, and with this pill he's holding, he can bring him back. Batman is in shock. He thought he lost Nightwing, and he holds Nightwing close as Lex looks on, slightly interested how close Batman and Nightwing appear to be. Oh, and Bizarro mimics this and hugs Lex. Roar, Lex. And Catwoman comments on just how cute the two are together. Just then, Cyborg rejoins the team after winning his fight with Grid. But that's a story for another video because it involves the Metal Men. Cyborg informs everyone that Firestorm is down below and they can save the rest of the Justice League. But Lex Luthor thinks it's just time to end this. So, Batman, Catwoman, Nightwing, and Cyborg all go down below to save the Justice League, while Lex Luthor and Bizarro go outside to finish off the crime syndicate. Elsewhere, Owlman is snooping around the Watchtower looking to accomplish his own goal. And up top, Deathstorm and Ultraman are trying to figure out how they're going to handle Alexander Luthor when he appears before them, with Superwoman who states that her unborn child is actually Alexander Luthor's, and she's the one who brought him here so that they can finish off the crime syndicate and she can stand alongside the most powerful person ever. Boy, I'm starting to wonder if she even knows who the father is.
I don't think she knows.
In the basement, Cyborg explains that Batman will have to use Wonder Woman's lasso of truth to reach out to Firestorm and pull everyone out of him. Why can Batman use her lasso? Well, he seems to have an emotional connection with her.
Well,
back up top, Ultraman begins his slugfest with Alexander Luthor, and while Lex Luthor and his team reform but down below trying to figure out how they're going to handle this. But he better hurry because Alexander Luthor is just getting more powerful as he pushes Ultraman aside and absorbs Deathstorm into himself. And that's when he sees Lex Luthor's group of supervillains, and he begins his onslaught on them. But just before Alexander Luthor can kill Lex, Bizarro saves him, only to be beaten to death by Alexander Luthor. This infuriates Lex. That was his monster. No one kills his monster. Lex has a plan. Black Adam's magical lightning bolt should be enough to change Alexander back so that they can stop him. And with the help of Sinestro's yellow construct, Black Adam can speak again and they head off. Back in the basement, Batman is trying to work on the lasso when Owlman jumps on Nightwing, stating that he's come for him. Thinking that he's here to stop him, Nightwing and Catwoman fight with Owlman, but he stops and says he's not here for the Syndicate. Gotham is dead, his Alfred is dead, Nightwing is all he has left, and he wants Nightwing to win. Back up top, Sinestro and Black Adam go to town and ram a lightning rod through Alexander Luthor's chest so that Black Adam can hold it and shout Shazam! But yeah, it's not the same magic and it didn't change him back. All it really did do is knock out Superwoman. It did nothing to Alexander Luthor.
Oh, fudge.
Then Alexander Luthor walks over to Lex Luthor and exclaims, "Is that the best you can do?" And that's when Lex grabs the rod and says, "We're the same, you and I sound just like you. Mazmush!" This changes Alexander Luthor back so that Lex can kill him. But it's not over. Ultraman is still around, but the sunlight saps his powers, so Sinestro and Black Adam are moving the moon and ending the eclipse right this second, depowering Ultraman. To top it all off, Batman frees all of the Justice League at this moment using the lasso of truth. And that's it. That's the ending of the first giant event with the New 52. In the aftermath, Lex Luthor decides that he wants to be a hero and is trying for the Justice League. Argus is found out and dismantled, which dismantles the Justice League of America. But don't worry, Martian Manhunter and Stargirl are forming a new team. Superwoman, Owlman, and Ultraman are all imprisoned. And Lex Luthor is going to try and make a new Bizarro. And trust me, we need a new Bizarro.
Why can't you fix the old one?
Oh, and the whole kryptonite sliver and Superman's brain from Trinity War? Well, Lex saves his life by removing it. And all the villains also flee so that they can't be arrested, so they're all out there again. Oh yeah, and there's one more question that we slightly grazed over but needs to be answered at the end of this entire event. What were the crime syndicate running for? And what did the destruction of Power Ring summon? The Anti-Monitor. Yep, he's coming back to the New 52, and he's looking for Darkseid.
Oh, this is so good.
And that's it. It's the beginning of a new day for the DC Universe.